Just so we're all clear, this is a podcast that we recorded back in September of 2024, right after Clint's grand opening and the big creator bash that he put on. Why didn't it see the light of day until now? We don't need to ask that question. All that we know now is that it's here, and you get to hear it. There will be another episode coming out shortly after this one, so enjoy.
Searchable.
Break stuff. This is actually the most comfortable.
Ever since the truck bed in your in-laws' house.
Well, no, for me, like ever for me, because you were the one laying on the ground. No, I guess I was laying too, huh? Oh yeah, that's right. You laid in the back of the truck.
You laid like down on the
I was
ground.
on the ground on the cement.
I think
so this is definitely the most comfortable I have ever podcasted in my entire life, for sure.
Yeah.
This should be a thing. Why don't people do this more often? They want to like sit up
The lay
and
down
be engaging
podcast?
Yeah, I've never seen anybody else do this.
I do it every podcast that we do. I almost always do it. It's just, you have a weekend. There's been a long reptile thing. You're kind of digesting all of the experiences you just took in, and you just want to like lay down and talk as though there's a psychiatrist listening to you. But it's just Brian Kusko.
I've definitely played the role of faux psychiatrist, mock psychiatrist, stand-in psychiatrist
in pretty much all of our conversations.
No, just in general in life, that's happened a lot, which is great. But yeah, speaking of digesting, like just digesting. There's so much food. I feel like I might need to take a number 2 break. Speaking of poop.
Oh man, that'd be the first number 2 break in one of our podcasts. Hey everybody, welcome back to Searchable as Reptiles. My name is Garrett Hartle.
My name is Brian Kusko, and you said that right on cue. I was literally thinking we should do a little introduction, and boom, you went for it.
We're so good at this. There's no reason why we don't do it more often.
Well, there is, and that reason is that we're never in the same place as often as we'd like to be.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good reason. Man, I'm all over the place these days. This is a busy run of reptile events that we're in the middle of.
It is. This is my busiest.
And yours is different than mine, but we're still both busy.
Yeah, it's weird, huh?
Yeah. What's your schedule like right now?
Well, I'm coming to the tail end of it, and I feel like you're just kind of kicking off, so that might be the difference.
Yeah.
there was Daytona, and then there was a moment in between there. So yeah, it was Daytona, and then the Denver Reptile Show, the All-American Reptile and Plant Expo, and then
that looked like fun.
That was fun. And then after that was the our local show, our slow reptile show, which was really cool. Such a different show than any of the other shows I go to. And
a little slower, maybe?
Definitely slower in a sense, but also I'm like constantly doing something like the entire time of the show, but it's just one day, so it's all right. And then after that was North Carolina, which was also awesome. Also All-American Reptile and Plant Expo, the first one in North Carolina. 3rd show ever of that promotion. And then that was last weekend, and now we're here in Utah for Clint's Reptile Room.
And 5-year anniversary.
Yeah, and then next weekend is AnimalCon that you're going to?
Yeah, so mine are like it's 4 long weekends in a row.
Yeah.
But half of them are driving, half of them are flying. So by the time you add travel, it's like traveling 5 or 6 days a week. And then I got to go home and like try to be a husband and a father and a business owner in between there, you know?
Same. We're in very similar boats.
So, yeah, last weekend. So here's what I decided to do though is I got 4 kids. They're all in school. I've decided to let one of them ditch school each weekend and come with me to these different events. So we kind of like try to pick the right event for the right kid. Totally. So I'm almost halfway there. Last weekend, me and Finley, my youngest, he's kind of our crazy wild child. We drove to Indianapolis and picked up I want to say like rescue alligator, but we weren't really like rescuing it from their owner or anything. We're just rescuing it from its uncertain future,
Yeah.
at Cold Blooded Cafe. So we have a new alligator as an ambassador animal, which is kind of a big undertaking, big deal. His name's Chico. So we did that, and then obviously this weekend, getting my mic
I'm just putting it for the
very
ideal position.
close.
Yeah, the mic proximity it makes for uber cool podcast. So
Okay.
anybody listening, like in their nice car stereo or on their headphones, is gonna really appreciate that.
Okay. Anybody watching the video is gonna see the microphone in my neck. But yeah, so Indianapolis last week with Finley, obviously Salt Lake City here in Utah for Clint's thing with Garrison. Garrison's a huge Clint's Reptiles fan, so that was really awesome for him. Next weekend is Orlando for AnimalCon with my daughter Riley, who desperately wants a cell phone and probably will be way too addicted to social media, so why not start her early? And then the weekend after that is Tinley Reptile Show, which is actually very labor intensive for us because we vend it
Right.
in a big way.
Who's is
Kira.
Kira's coming?
Yeah, which I'm excited about. That's gonna be fun for her. I don't know what I'm gonna do with her during the auction. I don't want her to go to the USARK auction, but other than that, so should be pretty fun. I'm actually enjoying like spending time one on one with each of them.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I've been stoked to have Eli along on this trip for sure.
He's
It's
a
been
good little companion for Garrison too. They're keeping each other company.
yeah, they've been running thick as thieves. It's been cool.
I'm glad they don't hate each other. That'd have been weird.
Right. I haven't seen that. No, I don't think that would work. It's funny. I was taking some pictures of them. I was just kind of looking at it. Just kind of reminded me a little bit of. I don't know. It was kind of cool. Just like imagine them like
I know the
maybe
picture
having
you're talking about. It was funny.
yeah. But just imagine them like having their pod like those two like getting together for podcasts from across the country.
Little Juniors podcast.
Yeah, dude, that would be so cool.
Mini me's.
Mm,
That was funny. They both are like kind of like one end of the spectrum of who we are, though. You know what I mean? Like
right.
Garrison is very much this part Garrett and that part Ashley.
Right.
So obviously every kid's like that, but
Their own personalities. Yeah. Ah, dude, personalities and podcasts and YouTube. I was thinking about how cool it is that we've been invited to these awesome events, like from two of the, pretty close to back. Oh, that was the thing that was before Daytona, right? Was the snake discovery thing. So it's
oh
been,
yeah, we did that too. The build off.
yeah. Well, we obviously did a podcast after that, but you guys should go listen to that one first if you haven't listened to that one yet. Listen to that one first, then this one if you're catching up on podcasts that we haven't done in a long time. Um, but just it's pretty cool that we get invited. It's like a little cool family because it's not like I don't know. I'm just kind of blown away that we get invited to them in the first place. I mean, you're doing pretty big things in the reptile world. I'm pretty minor, I would say. So maybe I'm just speaking for myself here, where I'm just like kind of blown away that I get invited to these cool events with some of the biggest creators in the space and get to like participate and like be like friends and family with these folks and just have a really good time and it's awesome. I feel super blessed to even be part of
You're
them.
the glue that holds the entire community together. I'm just the guy that pumps it full of super dwarfs.
Holds the community together.
Yeah, without you, we'd all fall apart and never talk to each other anymore. Especially me and Dave. That guy.
I
Just
mean,
kidding. Love you, Dave. We've been making fun of him all weekend. I don't know why. He's such an easy target.
all weekend.
Okay, fair enough. What he's saying, folks, is that it's much more than that.
I mean, he kind of. I think he knows that he asks for it. He's got to know that.
I don't know. Even Clint's wife, Leisha, was making fun of him this weekend. Poor Dave Kaufman.
That's normal. That's definitely normal.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, what a great event. They do such a great job, and they're so gracious, and also they're also very
It's
very
it's an event catered towards Brian Kusko's and not Garrett Hartle's, but still great. But definitely your kind of event.
oh, it's so much fun. But it's also
It's
cool
too
that
much fun.
they're able to bring all these folks out here to do it. It's not like they're flying people out. They're just like inviting, and it's such a cool event that people are willing to, make whatever sacrifice it takes to be here. Um, unless it's something big like you're having a kid the next day, or you need to be at a wedding for a family or something like that. Those things come up,
Yeah.
but man, it's fun. It's cool. It's cool to see the support that comes out for them. But then it also, there's benefits just getting to hang out with everybody and have collaboration opportunities, which I took little to no advantage of.
Same. I shot a bunch of video, but it was all my hat. Hold on, I'm gonna get up and go get this hat so people who are watching this on video can see it.
All right.
Do you wanna? We got a drink sponsor that's you and me.
Oh
You want to
yeah,
talk
that's right.
about these?
Yeah, sure. I'll talk about the drinks that we sponsored ourselves. Garrett's gonna go get this super fancy hat from they got this from the shop. It was actually one of the first destinations on the Great and Amazing Race that is part of the Reptile Rampage that the Laidlaws put together. That was the first clue, was something about a hat shop, and luckily the day before Garrett had already talked to me about the hat shop, and so I kind of knew where it was because we drove by it on the way to the shop, and it was the first place we were supposed to go.
I'm gonna bring it over to the camera here.
Yeah, just not too close because that's a very tight shot. You won't need to get too close for it to be fully engulfed in the frame, is what I'm saying. Uh, can you see yourself? Yeah, it's not. Yeah, yeah, it's probably good right there. You're probably really tight. You're probably like your hat is like filling the frame right now. So yeah, Garrett got this slick hat. I kind of wanted to get one. They're a little expensive, and I knew that I didn't need a hat, but super sweet. And at least I know where it's at. If I come into a little extra money and want to come back and get a hat next time I visit Clint, I know where to go.
I think you do need a hat with those boots.
I know the boots are pretty slick, and I would like to have a hat that goes with the boots, and I would definitely rock them, and that would be awesome. But it's not time yet. I'm not there right now. I need to make sure I'm paying bills and being responsible financially. Don't really have that extra hat money at the moment.
So this Hatter's place is called Tatton Baird. So TATTON Hatters.
Been there for at least 100 years.
Springville. Yeah, over 100 years. They've still got all the original tooling and stuff, and they do straw felt hats. They even had like old school like French top hats, the little pop up like opera hats and stuff. All kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah, I'll definitely be looking out for that. But this won't be my last trip to Springville. That's almost a guarantee. And I won't say a full guarantee, but like I'm saying if I'm alive, I will come back here in the near future. So what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, the whiskey sponsor. Us, the whiskey sponsors. We also visited the same state liquor store here in Utah that we visit every time we come here, and picked up a couple of bottles for ourselves to be our own whiskey sponsors. Oh, you know what? I think there's people that have been reaching out about Tinley whiskey sponsorship already. Because if
Sweet.
you guys didn't know, we do offer sponsorship on this podcast. There's still location sponsorship available, whiskey sponsorship, and we shout you out right now. We're shouting out ourselves because we got it ourselves, and we didn't really ask anybody if they wanted to be the sponsor. So if that's you and you're listening, reach out to either myself or Garrett. And
Garrett.
And there's so many other benefits that come
That
with
was
that.
me shouting myself.
Especially if it's location sponsor, like when we come to your place, and like there's probably gonna be vlogs.
Those have been fun. I like when people just get together and they're like, let's fly Brian Kusko and Garrett Hartle out to stay, and we'll have a barbecue in my backyard and they'll podcast.
Yeah, those have been some awesome moments for sure.
Yeah. Good times.
The event, it was a lot like last year. I wanted to talk about the event a little bit since that's what we're here for.
Sure.
It was very much like last year in the same type of arrival thing. Everybody there's a mingling session over breakfast.
I just got to call out the fact that last year Clint had us out for his grand opening of Clint's Reptile Room.
And this year
is about 12 months later, is the 5-year anniversary of Clint's Reptile Room. And he said he's so tired he's not having us back until the 10-year anniversary. I said, so you mean next year or when's? What year will you select to be your 10-year anniversary, Clint? Because most people use calendars to dictate those kinds of things.
He's definitely a master of like taking really minute facts and using them
To
to
twist
say things
Ben to
like,
his will.
birds are reptiles and other such
Whales
things.
or fish.
And other crazy ideas that people scratch their heads at, but the facts are the facts, and facts are the facts, and the
Yeah,
facts is that you
he
got to
can
pay the
argue
cheese
you
tax.
down into a corner on anything that he wants.
Yeah,
So
so he did do the same thing with the going from the grand opening 1 year to the 5 year anniversary the next year. He had the facts to back it up. Opening the shop during COVID, and not necessarily being open to the public, but the reptile room was there. We actually came and checked it out. So it is the 5 year anniversary of Clint's reptile room, even though the grand opening to the
he just
public was
took
the
4
4th year
years to open it
to the public,
to the
right?
grand opening.
So
Yeah.
I don't know how you
No,
would.
they planned it to the kilt though, man. I was joking around like, boy, if you come to Retic Fest, you come to one of my events, we're gonna like eat some chicken and maybe drink a beer. You know what I mean? Hang out and look at some super dwarves. You
Well,
come to
Clint,
one of Clint's events and it's like, okay, here's your schedule for the next 2 days. Don't be late to anything.
true. And also, speaking of those two events and Clint is going to be your keynote speaker at
That's
Retic
right.
Fest.
Yeah. So if you want to come see Clint, you can't go to his 10-year anniversary next year. You got to come to Retic Fest July 19th. So it'll be fun. He's going to be a pretty cool keynote speaker. So this year we actually had Ed and Emily out as a speaker. They kind of talked about, just influence YouTube has on the reptile community and how to take advantage of that, or tips and tricks that they've learned along the way. Obviously, Clint's very successful on YouTube as well. There's over 700,000 subscribers at the time of this recording. But that's not what he's talking about at all. He's going to talk about insular dwarfism and the actual biological mechanisms that make a super dwarfed. So that'll be pretty cool. I'm actually excited about that. He's been studying into it because there's some specific things with that island chain that are very unique and neat. So,
Where are you on the argument that super dwarf is inaccurate and they're really pygmy pythons?
I mean, it's all semantics.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't care. I've never been. I think when you argue semantics on points that are like, especially ones that are ill understood, it's just moot. It's irrelevant. Why are you having arguments about what to call something that you don't even know what it is? You know what I mean? It's like,
It's a bird. It's a reptile.
yeah, right, exactly.
Oh,
So,
yeah. So the event, yeah, the breakfast mingling was much like last year. Everybody kind of getting together. The one thing that I missed that happened last year was our warm up practice with the guns. We didn't get any target practice with the guns this year.
the little shoot that was a making fun of Dave event too.
Yeah, that was
Remember they had little like Dave
yeah, it was the
faces that we
little
had to shoot.
right. It was a little knockaway, like the metal style knockaway targets
That
with
was
Dave's face
actually
on them.
how he convinced everyone to come out to the first one. He's
We're
like,
gonna
I
shoot Dave
promise you can
Kaufman in the
shoot Dave
face.
in the face. So we all came for that.
Oh man, yeah. So there was that, but then we had the puzzle. We built a puzzle, and you can see all this visually because they did such a great job of documenting with video this year. He had a whole crew. He had a whole camera crew. But there was a drone operator. There were different B-roll camera operators. They had the microphone. They really went for it this time with the video
Yeah,
documentation of
you
the
guys
whole
get to
event.
see it all.
Yeah, it's going to be really well documented. Um, but yeah, the puzzle, we all had to put together a puzzle that was basically a picture of the reptile room and then sign it and then flip it over. And that was our first clue to go to that hat place that I was just telling you guys about, where Garrett got his new fancy hat, and sprint over there. And the people that got back from that destination were in your team. Basically, the
Like
order you
the
showed up
first
back to the
four were
shop.
a team, the second four were a team.
Yeah, which if it
You know,
was
it's funny. I probably would have been on your team if I didn't try to take a shortcut and go in through the back door, which happened to
because it
be
was closed,
locked for the only time the whole weekend that it was locked.
you could have been on the winning team.
Well, I meddled just fine without you, Brian Kusko.
Yeah, it was like a booby medal.
Yeah, that's the best kind of everything. Booby kinds.
Uh,
Who doesn't like boobies, Brian?
It reminds me of this. I feel like I should. Oh, you know what? I've got my phone right here. and I actually sent it to Ron recently, so it won't be hard for me to find. Just when you
I
said
don't know
that.
what it is that you're gonna show me when you whip out your phone after we're talking about boobs, but I
Listen,
don't want to see
just what
that.
you said. This is this is a video of Noah. I think when I was first, we still lived at my uncle's house, which you came to visit when we went herping for Western fence lizards in the backyard and had that conversation about breeding them.
Right.
And we did the mite video when spraying fire with WD-40 like as a joke of how to get rid of mites. And this came same thing. Boobies was brought. I was texting with Duran Guerrero, one of our previous drink sponsors, and he said something like, "Let's see." He was asking me about Tinley. He said, "Am I going to Tinley?" And I said, "That's the plan." He said, "Where are you staying?" He said, "Well," and then before I could even reply, he said, "Well, knowing you, you probably don't even know yet." I said, I don't even have my plane ticket yet." He said, he's looking into getting his this week, and he's just trying to find out what area everyone's going to be in. And me being the weirdo that I am, to that comment, I replied, "Areola," and he said, "Like boobies." And then just like then, or just like now, then it reminded me of this moment that I'm going to play for you guys here on the podcast, and it's going to be Noah when he was
Oh,
like
baby.
2 saying something into my camera, and here it is, Noah, Garrett.
What do you like? I like big boobies.
What? You like what?
Big boobies.
I like big boobies.
Big boobies, yeah.
I like big boobies.
Oh man.
What? You like what?
Big boobies.
That was Eli crying in the background.
That's funny.
Sorry, you just reminded me of that, and that I actually had it really easily accessible in my phone.
That's funny. Well, who doesn't? I think everybody does. So,
Pretty good stuff.
good times. You know what was crazy about all of their planning on this event is how everything tied into itself. Like, so they had us do these puzzles, and then we had to sign them, and then they uh, sold those at the open house event or whatever, so you could have the puzzle was actually it sounds cheesy, it's like a puzzle or something, but it was actually a really beautiful photograph of Clint's reptile room,
Yeah, it
signed
was
by
nice.
your favorite person, so
Right.
like it was like every little thing tied into something later. Like they gave us a gift bag that had these cozy blankets, and then tonight at the end of the event we just got back from a little campfire, so it was like cold out, so everyone's like, wrapping themselves in their little cozy blankets and stuff, it's
Yeah,
just
lots of
planned
thought.
to the T.
Definitely lots of thought put into it.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. So, but yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it's pretty fun. For 2 days, they have you competing and running all around their town, and then they teach you about the town, the art museum, the science
Yeah.
museum. We went to the university where Clint last year. Remember where Clint did some schooling and has like a paper that he wrote
Right.
on file there. We had to find something he wrote, and so they tie all this stuff together ridiculously.
And then going hiking for the Clint's Reptile Academy space and checking and gathering foliage to make the art piece that goes into the art museum that we actually got judged on by the curators of the museum. And
Yeah, so we literally made art pieces that are on display at, from what I understand, quite a prestigious art museum here in Springville. So that was kind of cool. But also just like genius marketing for his Reptile Academy, right? Like have all the YouTubers come vlog going through his academy. And you have to because you earn a Nerf gun or something to go shoot each other with later. It's crazy. And then even just the idea of like having the event where we do a trivia and then shoot each other and stuff like that in front of a public audience at the local, middle school is crazy. And we were a couple people short because they had Ed and Emily here for part of the weekend, but they had to bug out a little early before the Nerf battle, which is a shame because a Nerf battle with those guys would have been a lot of fun.
it would have been.
So we had 2 open spots on the teams. So as we went through the trivia thing, they had one of those games where you like hold up your cell phone, you scan it, and you go in and you answer the trivia stuff. And so the top 2 winners of the
From
trivia
the
in
audience.
real time, from the audience.
Yeah, the audience is playing on their cell phones while we're doing the trivia.
Got to come in and join all the YouTubers and be teamed up with us
in the
as
Nerf
we
battle.
killed each other. Yeah.
It was pretty cool. And I think I think this was awesome. This is if anybody else, because I was obviously here to defend my grand championship title from last year. I'm glad at least I did lead my team to victory. That definitely happened. Our team won again. Um, but if somebody was going to take grand champion from me, I was probably going to be a little bothered. Like, listen, I do work my butt off out there. It's like the one spot in the whole thing where I shine. Like, I'm okay at the art. I'm okay at this. I'm okay at the trivia. I'm okay. I'm not even okay at the trivia. I suck at the trivia.
Yeah, I kind of clean the floor with
Yeah,
trivia.
I'm really not so great at most of the things in the event. But when it comes time for battle and war with Nerf guns, like that's where I'm just like, I'm going to destroy everybody else.
You had Johnny Venom on your team too. He wasn't bad either.
No, he wasn't bad either. He definitely was a great asset. Yeah, open it. So, and then if you wouldn't mind pouring me a little, so the girl that came on our team, because since our team won, and just like last year, the winning team has to split into 4, and then we actually got to invite another person from the other team that didn't get into the top thing to give them a chance to earn a medal. But Heidi, the winner of actually the number 1 winner of the trivia that got her into the thing.
4 on your team, right?
Yeah, she was.
Teams. You eliminated 3 teams. So there's 4 people left.
Yeah, this thing moves where you want it to go.
Then you split them up. So out of your.
Look, this mic moves up so you can actually talk into it.
It's gonna be fine. I'm gonna lay down a second.
Okay. So
they split your team into 4.
Right, and it's every man for themselves, basically. And she was the one that won. The audience member, like, it's such a great story. It's such a great. You come just to watch this event. You end up getting to participate, and then you become grand champion of the entire event. Like, that is such a great story, and that's why I was super okay with not defending my title, because Heidi was the one that got to become grand champion. Because I think that's such a better story than me coming and dominating again completely over the entire event.
Except for the trivia.
Except for the trivia. I mean,
Let's not forget the trivia.
Well, there was one of my favorite questions that I got to get it right, and then we did win one of the Connect Fours too, and then they cut it short. We would have won the next one too, I think, but they cut us short because it was short on time.
These YouTubers totally make up the rules as they go along.
It's true, but I love that one of the questions was, which Clint was clever enough to make one of the questions. Cheers. What YouTuber says "rattle on" at the beginning of videos and shouts "rattle on"? And most people would immediately think Dave Kaufman, but it's in the beginning of all his videos. That person shouting "rattle on" is actually me, and you were there too when I did that, because we were all herping in Utah, and we were Clint and Dave, and I think maybe even you too. You guys were all up on the cliff spot, like kind of going up that mountainside, while I was down by the creek. And I knew Dave, I could hear you guys a bit.
I remember this,
yeah. And Dave was trying to film his intro up there, and I'm just doing my classic thing where I'm always trying to sabotage his 27 takes of his intro. Yeah. And so he was just, the whole time he was up there, I could hear him starting his little intro from way far away. I was down at the bottom of the canyon, I would just shout as loud as I could, "Rattle on! Rattle on!" And it just made it into and he puts it in every single intro now. So that was one of the trivia questions I got right, because I was like, well, that's me.
That was funny.
Yeah, and it was also funny that it just so happened that, because the trivia questions are random, but a lot of them were about questions about the YouTubers that were there, and it seemed like somehow, randomly,
they were all getting asked questions about themselves.
Exactly, like, who's the YouTuber that blah, blah, blah. That's me. It was pretty funny. Yeah. That was good.
Yeah, the Nerf battle was pretty intense. Did you get any good, get hit any times? I'll tell you, Alex from Leafy Street whapped me with one of the sniper rifle ones, the higher powered ones that you like. He hit me from 4 feet away, right at the edge of where my safety glasses were, on my cheekbone under my eye. Dude. I had a big, I don't know, is there a mark here still? There was a good red welt right
I
there for
do
a
see a
while
little bit of red.
afterwards.
Yeah, I do see
Yeah,
something.
man, that one hurt.
Dude, those things. I mean, those things fly. The thing I love about using those guns, and that's why I wanted to make sure that our team had a couple, is that they were kind of the key to how I'm so successful at that game. Is like that particular gun
They're
shoots
fairly accurate.
very far and accurate. Like it'll
Yeah,
shoot all the way across the middle school gym, and I can aim it and like hit people
yeah,
in the face
pick
or
them off.
wherever.
Yeah,
And but from that distance is not as much of a. But from 4 feet away,
yeah, yeah. It was
gosh,
wild.
I
Straight
got
to
hit
the
by
face.
one in the back. So we were just like doing warm up shooting or whatever. And yeah, I did catch one like kind of like to the back neck cheek area. Somebody
Yeah.
shot me from behind when I was walking back to my spot, which I earned because I was shooting everybody. But but yeah, and I was like, ow, that hurt. I didn't want to admit it. And I didn't want to react, but I just was walking away. I was just
Just a
like,
little silent tear
oh
rolled down the
gosh,
face.
man, that really stung. I'm just gonna walk like nothing happened, but ouch. Yeah, those things pack a wallop, dude. At 4 feet, gosh, that must have stung.
The thing that was funniest to me, I hope you guys can see this in the video if you go watch it, is Heidi. So they split you guys into four, and then they let those four people pick someone, from the other three teams. Like you want to go pick a partner. So it's like 2-on-2-on-2-on-2. It's
Right.
kind of like a 4-team free for all. Capture the flag in the middle, shoot your way there, and get back. Whoever gets it wins. So Heidi picked me, and if you don't know Heidi, she's she's just very quiet and like demure, kind of humble looking person or whatever. And then you've got Johnny Venom, and then Jesse was really lighting people up during the competition too. So you guys are super focused on got to kill each other now. We've been super intense about everything else. And I asked Heidi, I was like, like, what's your strategy? She's like, well, I don't know. And I was like, how about you just walk up and get the flag and bring it back? You know what I mean? And if anyone looks at you, I'll shoot them. So I got like one of the rapid fire guns. They're not that accurate, but they like dump a ton of bullets, right? And so she literally like did just a little bit of a jog, almost walk to the middle. And they're like, okay, ready, set, go. And you guys all focused on trying to kill each other. And she literally, however long it took to like walk up, grab the flag, walk back, she won while you guys are all trying to kill each other. And she won like the 10-pound silver trophy that Clint got for the event.
Yeah, that
That
was
was
amazing.
hilarious. So
Yeah, it was over so quick.
yeah, did you guys even kill each other yet?
Listen, that was well, because the way it was set up, like we had teams right next to each other on the other side of the banner.
Yeah,
So I
it
was
was
like, well, I
pretty
got to make
bad.
sure I take them out first. So I just
Yeah.
peeked around the side and killed Dave and Johnny real quick. First thing, just bam, bam, they're out. But like it happened
But then
so
it
fast.
was over.
It was over. Yeah.
Got the flag.
And to your point, like that was I was super stuck. Like the flag thing threw me off a little bit. Went into full last year mode. I was like, I just gotta kill everybody. Just gotta kill everybody, and didn't even think about the flag.
Yeah, we just walk back with it. We win.
It was funny. Well, she won.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I got a medal.
Well, yeah, I got a medal too because I was on a winning team. She got the
Mhm.
trophy. She got the grand champion
She
trophy.
totally deserved it.
Yeah.
And she was only there because she crushed everyone on the trivia side.
Right.
She's like, all I do is watch YouTube with you guys. You're my escape from college. So she knew all the answers.
Yeah.
Well, I think we should get into more serious matters. I think it's time to dive deep into the shallow end.
Yeah. I can't. I wish that we could remember what the first question was that Clint asked.
That was a good one.
Did-
We had
it was a good-
several suggestions.
Do you not remember?
I remember some. So Jessica actually had a couple suggestions. She said,
Yeah, if-
during a nuclear war, would you rather be killed right away or survive it? And we're like, whoa, that's not shallow enough for us. That's pretty deep.
And she asked, is keeping pets ethical? Is it ethical to own pets?
Is it? Yeah. Yeah, of course. Okay. She's like, I don't want to think about that one too hard. And then
And
what
then
was
Emily had a couple. She was like, she said, what is the most
This is not Emily from Snake Discovery, but Emily, their volunteer.
yeah, what is the most like immoral rock or the most ambiguous rock? Or, that one was weird, but it was made me think a little bit, I
And
guess.
then we were giving them suggestions, and boy, they really all wanted to answer our one of our previous questions. What was the sexiest tree? They were very opinionated. We're like, we need
Yeah.
questions, guys, not answers. I know Leisha said if you could only see in one color, what would it be?
Oh, I didn't hear
That
that.
was kind of an interesting one, but I thought Clint's was fairly interesting, so we're gonna go with one of these. And he did have a first one, and I texted him. Let's see. Nah, he didn't text back. He's asleep. um, but he had one that we were both like, "That's really good," but we can't remember now because it's been a long weekend. So the other one was, if you had to raise a hybrid animal.
Human animal hybrid.
Yep, it's going to be a human and some type of animal hybrid, but you've got to raise it. What would it be?
I mean, the first thing that pops into my head, and this is probably like a cheater answer, but well, actually, the first thing that popped in my head was some kind of insect human hybrid. But the reason that popped in my head was like not that, like anything but that. That would be terrifying. I do not want to raise an insect human
Someone
hybrid.
said chimpanzee.
Yeah,
I was like,
that
that's
sounds
the bad idea.
that sounds bad too. But the human insect one just sounds terrible. Like that's the one I would not want to do. That's like opposite. And actually, when they asked the question at the campfire, it did pop into my head about a frog human hybrid. But I wouldn't want to raise that one. I didn't hear
I
that
wouldn't
part.
want to feed it.
No, yeah, that's what I mean. It would be like interesting and terrifying as well. Like the whole.
What's the
feeding
movie?
thing.
The Island Doctor.
Island of Dr. Moreau.
Ugh. Yeah, creepy.
Yeah, no, the frog human one wasn't my thought wasn't to raise it, but I thought of that when they were asked the question around the campfire, and like how that thing would just like swallow other humans, I guess, in like 2 bites. Not that, but when I think of which one I would actually raise, the first thing that popped in my head was like a golden retriever human hybrid.
That is kind of a cheater answer. I don't know why, but I mean it's completely legitimate. But yeah, too easy. That's right. Wait, I remembered another question. Was this the first question? He said, what was the most terrifying childhood cartoon character?
Oh yeah, I think that was it.
Was that Clint or someone
I
else?
think that was Clint.
Because that was a pretty good.
Yeah,
question.
that was his first one, I believe.
I want to answer that one instead of this hybrid one because it's giving me the willies. Where I very visual imagination, and as I think of these hybrids, they're creeping me out.
Yeah, it sounds no good.
How about human electric eel? Just cause I'm just gonna go with that. I don't know why.
Sounds very hands off.
Yeah, can you imagine what it would look like?
Mm,
See, that's the problem I have with this question.
Yeah.
It's grossing me out. It's grossing me out.
oh,
What childhood cartoon character is the most terrifying?
ooh.
Mine would probably be anything from Roger Rabbit.
Oh, the first thing that popped into my head, which is not terrifying whatsoever, but for whatever reason, just a childhood cartoon, and then the fact that you're standing there too. Skeletor popped in my head, and also because there was the bull snake named Skeletor. So like the fact that your dad drew He-Man, and the fact that was all that different stuff is happening. I thought of Skeletor, but also thought of how he was not terrifying whatsoever.
Well, he looks terrifying.
Yeah,
when
but then he
talks, he's like,
talks. Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah,
He's
you're
got,
right.
like,
He looks
this
terrifying.
Steve Urkel voice or something.
Exactly. That's why
I
he's
don't know
not
who came
terrifying.
up with that.
Opens his mouth and just like, oh.
It
no.
does make it kind of like memorable, though.
It does. It is memorable, but definitely not terrifying. Feel the fury of my fist, foul fiend. So ridiculous.
Right.
Oh, it was so technically it's not. You said cartoon. Did it have to be a cartoon?
Maybe it was just a kids movie.
Because the thing that actually terrified me a bit, and still if I think about it and look at them, it still gives me a little bit of the like, yeah, I don't like that. That's not good. Those Muppet, no, Sesame Street, the little like alien things that would like the yop 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 yop. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't think
About
so.
that. You don't know what I'm talking about?
I can like only half remember it.
Yop 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 yop
Are you
yop
gonna-
yop
are you gonna
yop
pull
yop
it up
yop
on your
yop yop yop. Yeah, I'm gonna show you a visual because so you
pretty
can
creepy.
understand why maybe that me at 4 years old would find this terrifying enough to where I remembered it.
I remember the Scraggle Rocks. Was that those guys were kind of creepy? Remember that show? Was it Scraggle Rock? Am I saying that right?
Look, literally, I typed in "yop yop" and Sesame Street came up.
People like it.
Martians. They were alien. Yeah, it's Martians.
Let's see it.
Ooh, it's loud.
Oh, yeah, that's. Sorry, everyone.
Look at them. Oh, they're peeking in the window.
I kind of like these guys. I like how their mouths change shape from vertical to horizontal.
Yeah, that was terrifying.
Radio. Radio. Yip, 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 yip.
I like them. You know what they look like? Rain frogs.
Rain frogs?
Yeah, you know the little rain frogs?
Radio.
Dude, I love their mouths.
Terrifying.
Okay, I get the idea.
Yeah, I was gonna.
You're gonna have nightmares tonight.
Yep. Radio.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Okay, so I said something from I actually like those guys. I don't remember them from when I was a kid, but they're hilarious now. I'm out of Roger Rabbit. There were some pretty creepy things going on in that show, but I'm gonna say the worst one was Jessica Rabbit. You're
I
like,
thought Jessica Rabbit was creepy.
yeah, she's like super hot, but you're like, dude, this lady has weird motives. I don't like her. I don't get it. What's she into this for? Why is she dressed like that? Why does she talk to people like that? Something wrong with this girl. Like I don't trust her as far as I can throw her. You didn't think she was creepy at all? Like, what's wrong with this woman?
I didn't. I mean, I can recall her. I don't recall like her talking or like. Maybe I didn't watch the whole movie. Is possible or at
She's
all.
married to the weird rabbit,
Right.
and then she's like, but she's always like collaborating with all the bad guys.
Hmm.
I don't know. There's a lot of dark or creepy or just weird, out of place cartoon characters in that show, but out of all of them, I think everybody had the crush on Jessica Rabbit, and I was like, no, man, I do not want to hang out with that lady.
Gotcha.
I don't know. She always creeped me out.
Well, I like that we can't really agree on that we have very different opinions on what's creepy.
I guess so. Because I totally like yours. Well, those guys are funny.
Yeah.
I want to hug them.
I feel like Jessica Rabbit was the more reaction was more like the hello nurse. Like,
You're right. I think that's the typical reaction. But yeah, when you put it all together and you watch her, like if you imagine her as a real person, like say she was your buddy's wife or something, I would just be like so uncomfortable around her all the time.
Yeah, now I do know some real life people like that, so now it makes sense.
You know what I mean? You're
Yeah.
like, I'm going to just keep you at arm's
Yeah,
distance
like,
and maybe even more.
Yeah, how about we not be in the same room?
Yep. Yep. Creepy.
Hmm.
Ever since a little kid, I knew it. On the flip side, what did you ever have like a cartoon character crush?
Oh,
And maybe it's Jessica Rabbit still, but
maybe it was Jessica Rabbit. Cartoon character.
mine was the mouse. I'm trying to remember her name from Rescue Rangers.
Oh, you know, now I do remember.
Gadget or Gizmo or something.
Rescue Rangers.
She was always fixing stuff, and she always like didn't quite have very much confidence in herself, and you always wanted to like give her a hug, but she always did a great job.
Gotcha.
These cool inventions
That
to
sounds
save the day.
that sounds familiar now too. And yes, I do remember. I do recall like my first cartoon crush. And the funny thing is, it was also a rodent.
There was a lot of cute rodents in the 80s, you know.
It was from The Sword and the Stone. The Disney.
Oh, the squirrel.
Yeah, the
that
squirrel.
was one hot squirrel. I can agree with you on that
Well,
one.
it's because it's also there's that human element, like Arthur turns into a squirrel.
Right.
And so it's like all of a sudden you are the boy in the story, and
she
turn
was
into a
like,
squirrel.
Chico.
Yeah.
All the time. She's running around like just madly hugging him the whole time.
Right.
And you're like, I just want someone that hugs me no matter what.
Right.
Yep, that's what you want when you're 10. Cute, fuzzy squirrel to hug you all the time. Actually, you know what? Honestly, in the reptile world, like exotic animal keepers, I still want a cute squirrel to hug me all the time. We got to hold that sloth at the reptarium. That thing was amazing. You just want to hug it all day. Ashley's like, can I take a nap? While the sloth hugs me.
I kind of like to eat a squirrel sometime.
I would do that too, yeah. That
Hmm.
would be good. But not like that, Brian.
No, what? No, stop. Shoot it and then skin it
Yeah.
and make squirrel stew.
Well, and then you could hang the skin and remember what good hugs it used to give.
Wow.
Super deep in the
Mm.
shallow end. In the shallow end.
Mm.
Jeez. So you're not doing anything next weekend, then you're taking the weekend off.
I mean that's kind of
Staying at home.
yeah. I'm not traveling. Let's say.
Super jealous.
I feel like something. Yeah, but I've had lots of travel while you were staying at home. So calm down.
Was I though? I don't remember a time when I stayed at home. It's been so long.
Oh look, my thing literally says I just went to just check on the weekend, and it
It's
look what it
blank.
says. No, look what it says
Oh.
right there.
Stay.
Stay. But the
Stay.
funny thing is,
did
that stay there. That's actually it's like a little kind of hotel or type
Abbreviation.
place in. No, it's not an abbreviation. It's the name of a little hotel in Solvang.
Oh,
We're gonna go do a family like thing and the place is called Stay.
that's funny.
That's the name of the hotel.
That's funny. That's good times. It was kind of cool. We got this same Airbnb that we did last year when we stayed here.
Except last year we didn't have two little boys with us, and the one bathroom thing got a little bit.
Dude, those little boys can poop forever. Get those
I knew
little
we'd
boys
bring it
out
back.
of the bathroom.
I knew we'd bring it on back to poop.
The two little boys and then the big Dave with
Yeah.
all their pooping.
It's a
My
lot.
Goodness, it's a lot of pooping.
It is so much poop.
Yeah, and nobody times it very well. They can't coordinate. They just all wait and go at once. Can we stagger this throughout the day? But I really enjoyed the. So if you guys are ever in town visiting the Clint's Reptile Room, you got to go check out this place called the Sidecar Cafe, that breakfast joint we went to. That was good stuff.
And hopefully Nev is no longer working there by the time you get there. But if she
Yes.
is,
Not because it was terrible, but because she's great
And she
she wants
to be done.
has aspirations of moving on to something.
Bigger aspirations of being a waitress at a.
Nev is the waitress, but she literally remembered us from, what do you serve 300 people a day? You know what I mean? And then a year later, you still remember somebody.
It probably helped that we dropped her the fattest tip she's probably ever had.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, that was good times. So that was pretty cool. Go check out the Sidecar Cafe. That's a nice spot.
Really cool, actually. That we're just wandering through all those old Harleys and Indian motorcycles. That was pretty sweet.
So I filmed a little episode over at Envy Reptiles.
Oh, on this trip?
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I know you guys have done that before.
Mhm.
That one hits a little bit closer to home because so they knew who I was because they're interested in house snakes, which was funny. They asked me some questions about house snakes and stuff for their social media, but I don't think they knew that I knew who they were. And I had actually been following them on Instagram for a project that they did. It was like a T positive. It's called the Envy Snow. So it's like a dark T positive albino and anery together. Super cool. And the T positive albino is, I'm going to get technical here for a minute, is allelic with a T negative albino. It makes like a halfway albino, and those are called zombie snows. I made the same type of morphin retics, so it's a mochino snow. Obviously what a mochino is. So I made the anery version of that, and I'd never heard zombie snow in any other species, but I carried that name over, mostly because I was following him, all the beautiful pictures and stuff like that, and, from his Envy projects and all those. So that was pretty cool. So we filmed that, geeked out a lot about breeders. It's always fun when you're talking to someone who's like in a different species, but it doesn't matter because they still get it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah, I followed them. That was pretty sweet. You got a barbecue coming up tomorrow. Who's that with?
With Mountain Man Exotics.
So that'll be pretty neat. They keep retics and everything too, right?
I mean, there's ball python. Actually, I'll find out when I get there.
I think they have some retics too. They were telling me about.
Yeah, probably.
But
well, Martina is also she lives at a different spot than you're talking to Martina, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll be at I think Jay's place. I'm not sure. I really don't know what to expect. I'm just excited to go check it out, especially since just like kind of the story of how we came to hang out and at the Denver show, and yeah, it was cool.
Well, I'm on to AnimalCon. You're on to stay.
Stay.
Before we go, I don't know, is there one more, like, we started this podcast, we were staring up at the ceiling like this, laying down. It was way too late. We always entertaining ourselves with the weird conversations we got into. Kind of turned into this podcast.
Are you quitting right now?
No, I'm trying to move on to, like, let's just get deep and intentional, one good subject. Nail it.
One
and then
good
we move on,
subject.
because we've been pretty much just saying what we did all weekend.
Well, we answered a lot of the diving deep in the shallow end questions
Yeah, we
that were
kinda-
thrown at us this
kinda
evening.
Dove into two shallow ends this time.
Yeah. So, I like your premise, or I like your idea. Find one solid thing to dive into for the rest of the podcast. I'm with that.
What do you
Uh,
got? Anything? Put
do-
you on the spot.
I mean, no. My brain is. I'm about to take another sip of this whiskey after such a long weekend. Like my brain is not on the spot right now. It's not firing
It's
at
not
rapid
deep and
speed.
intentional.
No, it's intentional. It's deep. It's just not rapid fire.
Take your time. Not too much time. I'll fall asleep.
Yeah, no falling asleep yet. Somehow we almost always naturally have a flow of about an hour and 20 minutes on these podcasts. We are about 30 minutes shy of that right now. So I don't think I can let you tap out just quite yet. Which means I guess I've got to think of something. So this is the fun thing is, like, it reminds me of my cousin and I would have these conversations like late into the evening when we were kids. We were like elementary school, like just getting into middle school, kind of like Garrison and Eli age. I'd go visit him down in Oxnard. We do like what was that lifeguard thing, the junior lifeguards, and
Okay.
then it was always fun summertime because we were the same age almost exactly. He was born one day after me, and we would just hang out, do cousin stuff, lay in the bunk beds, and just keep telling stories, just saying things like and talking story to way past where we're supposed to be awake, and then we'd get to the point where it was getting really sleepy, and we were just like, "You sleeping?
You're right.
You sleeping? No."
It's like, no. You lay there, silence for a couple of minutes. Is very likely someone's tapped out.
Right. But and as far as that's what I'm reminded of right now in this lay down position and talking and having a long conversation. And also just it did remind me of, like you said, the beginning of this podcast, like we were just kind of laying on the floor of the Tinley Airbnb, and it's like we should do a podcast.
I think I have a question to ponder.
Yeah. Oh, you do?
Yeah. I do.
Okay.
So it was kind of funny. Clint and Alicia gave their little speech outside the room, right?
That was funny.
Start saying, well, it wasn't funny. Well, it was sweet. It was tender. They were talking about how amazed and blessed they are because they get to sit around and look at this, and they're like, "This was our dream, and now it's real." Like, they got basically 750,000 people that follow them on YouTube. Not that they cared about that, but they wanted to have a beautiful reptile place with all kinds of cool animals that would help teach people about animals, and then they would bring all of the different reptile YouTubers together to have some awesome just fellowship. And they're like, here we are. We did it. They've been doing it for 5 years, and that's a lot of work, right? It's like build, 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 build. So we all know how much work that is, right? You've done it. I've done it for, different things or whatever, but along the same vein. Requires a lot of sacrifice. You're chasing a dream. You're not doing the regular punch a clock job that could be so much easier, and you take a lot of heat, a lot of setbacks. There's a lot of stressful situations that arise along the way. All the different kinds of obstacles that come up. We face them every day. You follow me?
Oh yeah.
So, whether you're at the beginning of achieving what you want, or in the middle of it, or you achieved it a while ago, if you had to make a prediction, what would be the end of it all? Your reptile slash YouTube influencer, whatever you want to call it, journey.
The end.
The end. The exit. Not exit strategy, but like prediction.
Well,
like you're gonna keep fighting until it's like you totally die. Are you gonna gracefully move on into the next chapter at some point? Are you gonna sell out and get rich and famous? Well, rich and like unfamous, I guess. How does this end for you?
Well, as far as like how long did it take to accomplish any type of goal, like there's really just been blessing upon blessing, us shoving aside all of the hardships and the heartaches and the like you said, the heat.
They're a part of the blessing, though.
In a way, they can be, for sure. They are a part. Yeah, you're right. They're a part of it, but sometimes
they offer the perspective.
They do offer the perspective. That's correct. But just the ability to like do it, to like even just when I'm getting the first comments or getting those first few subscribers, like that was a little touch of success right there, and just like getting any kind of notice to where people were reaching out and making connections and relationships with folks through it. That was awesome, and it's still continuing to happen. I had a goal of like eventually producing like 30 clutches a year. That was my initial goal, and I've stayed on track with that. Where I think the most I've produced in a season so far has been 12, because 30 was like going to be my ultimate end goal. Like once I produce 30 clutches a year, that's like where I want to max out the most clutches I ever produce in a year.
No
ever.
more than that.
No more than that. And so there's that aspect of it. So like would I, when I finally produce 30 clutches in 1 year, which is such a small amount compared to people who like do it for as a business, but still, like, would that be the end? Probably not. That would just be like, okay, now I need to make sure I don't go above that, because that was always the goal and I've stuck to it. Would that be the end? Hillary has talked about wanting to take over the store, and she's the owner of the store she's working at, has kind of like talked with her about that. Like she'd love for her to take it over when she retires. And Hillary's been talking about like, well, then maybe you won't have to do any.
This is like a consignment store she works at, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's like high end, like curated thrift or whatever, secondhand shop. And she really loves doing it, and she's like, I'd love to do that so that you don't have to like work later, in life. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool, I guess. But I really enjoy what I do. It's been cool to grow into spots where I'm working with different shows, and just being able to support the family through all the different things that pop up from being a YouTube and reptile creator, influencer, whatever you want to call it. It's been super cool. And I don't think that I can. No, that's not true. I do think that I could just continue it on until whenever, and just keep doing it. But can I? I don't know. I'm not sure what physical limitations would be. Could I be still rolling through the airport with 200 pounds of equipment when I'm like 75? Hopefully, I'd love that. I'd love to stay in good enough physical shape where I'm like, yeah, I got that. But I don't know if I'd want to. And I'm sure I would think that something else along those lines would pop up, or something not along. Sorry, I would think that something else would pop up. To where I wouldn't have to wheel 200 pounds of video equipment through the airport on a regular basis. Whether that's an employee that does it for me or just yeah. I'd love for the kids to jump in and do it, but I'm not going to force that. But if that's something they end up wanting to do, that'd be cool for them to learn kind of the ropes of how to make it work and just form those relationships. And because that's a big part of what the success has been relationships with folks. And I'd like to keep those going. I'm still trying to think of the exit that you're talking about, that you asked about. Somebody asked me that at the meet and greet last night. This girl from Washington who had wanted to catch me at the Pac Northwest show that I went to, but somehow we missed each other. Super cool. Jasmine. She asked me like,
Hi, Jasmine.
Do you have a goal like in the or like some kind of secret project that you're thinking about? And I would love to have a space like Clint's. That it's kind of like a dream space,
Like
like
an education space or just
education
a
space, because that is one of
reptile?
my favorite things. Of all the things I've mentioned so far, like one of my favorite things is to like watch people have their first reptile interactions. That's what the slow show was like. That local show. It's not. There's no sales. There's no animal sales allowed at that show. It's just that you can sell like maybe some dry goods or whatever. But as far as animal goes, it's just exhibition. So the whole day is just families coming through and kids and just like with their questions and just like wanting to hold and check on animals and learn about them. And it's just my favorite thing. Like I spent the entire show doing that nonstop. I maybe went around to use the bathroom one time throughout the entire day, and somebody watched my table for 3 minutes. Um, and I didn't feel tired or like it was a long day. It felt like a wonderful day spent, and I could do that on a regular basis. And I'd love to have a place where people came there to do that, just like what Clint's got going on there, in some similar fashion or form. Like I wouldn't want it to be so much zoo-like as just like come hang out in the living room and hang with these animals. Like, I think it's a beautiful picture and a beautiful place and setting for
Mm.
that. And I would love to have something like that and that be the end game, the end goal of what this was. And to not even necessarily have to run it too much and it just be like, but it'd still be my place where I could come to and I'd have people that did a good job with the animals, who I could trust and just come in and do that. You know, if I felt like coming in 3 days and there'd be 3 days in the week, or if I felt like coming in every day of the week, it wouldn't be a problem because they wouldn't mind me being there. That sounds like that would be a point where I was like, okay, I've
I have
hit
arrived.
some kind of goal. Yeah, I've arrived. I've arrived. That's it right there.
Hmm. So just do it forever, increase, have a facility to run.
We'll have, like, as I mentioned, like
Education.
maybe not have to even run the facility, but have made enough relationships with people who I trust and can treat like family, or not, I mean, not even family, but like just that love doing it as much as I do, to the point where I could have them be there and I wouldn't have to have the stress. Because you're talking about like almost retirement type of stuff, right?
Right.
Like I wouldn't want to have to stress over the workings of a shop like that on a daily basis and have to be overseeing all of it. That doesn't sound like a type of retirement or end goal to me. Um, More having the space with a solid crew to make sure it runs well, whether I'm there or not.
Hmm.
That would be awesome. Let's see, it's a bit of a dream that I've had recently, and not even just recently, but I'm not in a rush to get there either. I'm not sure if I should be or not, because there's only so much time. Um, but I don't want to be in a rush to get there. You've known me since you've known me. I've done even though this past month and a half has been crazy, as far as scheduling and traveling. I still, through all of it, have been able to maintain a pretty healthy work-life balance. I think I'm not feeling overly stressed or overly worked. I'm feeling like it's still balanced out pretty well, and I'd like to keep that going for the rest of my time because it seems to be working out.
Hmm.
You? Or was that just a really good question that I'd have a long time answering so that you could go to sleep? I
That was part of it.
think that's the longest I've talked unbroken on this podcast since we started recording it.
That's hard to do with a guy like me next to you.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I knew you
You
were.
must be really tired.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I've been in building phase forever, and the problem is I keep seeing like opportunities with what I have, you know. So like we bred some snakes in the basement and did really well there. And I had the opportunity to bring some people in to help with some of it so that, I could focus on other parts. We did well there. That increased. Then we got a separate facility, built that out. I just finished putting together the last 4-foot cages. I've been in that facility for 3 years, and I've been doing just building cages for snakes that whole time. you know, just filling it up. And I know, obviously, amongst all the other things we're doing, but yeah, and then the staff to take care of that, and now we're building out like a museum, Pittsburgh Python Museum. We're going through a nonprofit application right now to turn that in. I just keep finding more like, it'd be cool for this, it'd be cool for that. More ideas that seem fun, like I want to take on. But it's definitely, like I was talking to Clint a little bit, and he's like, I'm not going to start anything new at all in 2025. That was his thing, right? He's like, I can start whatever projects in 2024 till December 31st. And then it's just going to be finish them and run them for a minute, you know? So he's kind of put it together and all that stuff. I've never been able to get to that point. I'll be interested to see if Clint is able to do that for next year. But I haven't been able to sit down and just like let it run for a minute. It's always between either putting out fires and rescuing things or building new stuff, right?
Mm.
So, like I said last weekend, we got a new alligator, and he's already in his enclosure, but that's not his final enclosure. So I got to build a final enclosure for an adult alligator. That's a big deal. It's a huge thing.
Yeah.
I also want it, like the whole point I have the alligator is to do it right and be an example of what they like really should have and that you should think about before you get a baby one, because that's what people do in Pennsylvania. But I can't see that far ahead. It's been build, 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 go, go, go. So I could see, like, if someone came by, this has been talks all along of things like, oh, Garrett, what if someone bought this place for you? There's been a lot of people that have asked, like, mostly hypothetically, I'd say 80% hypothetically, 20% seriously, what if I gave you this much money? Would you sell it to me? And the numbers they've given, I don't think they realize what the business is or whatever, but it's always been too low, so it hasn't been a serious thing. But I could see someone going, just like I do with any snake. I have a lot of snakes that I love and hold backs, but whenever people are like, how much, I just give them a number, And if it's a snake I don't want to sell, the number's high. So if someone gave the right number or whatever, I guess I could see that happening. It's not something I'm looking for. But I could see that as one possible end where you're like, oh crap, I have a stack of cash and no more reach at reptiles at all. It's just over. Not for reach at reptiles, obviously, because somebody else would have plans for that and do whatever they're going to do. But my involvement, right?
Mm.
So I could see that as a possible outcome. This year, there's been a lot of rumors, like we talked on our last podcast or whatever, but like I lost some weight. So there's been rumors that I'm like fell into a drug addiction or that I had cancer or some crazy thing, like just people talking. It wasn't any of that stuff. It was just getting in shape a little bit. But I could see that being a possible outcome. Like, health, right? Because the business is definitely very Garrett driven at this point. So if something happened health wise, like, I hate to even talk about it or whatever, but like Brian Barczyk got this empire going, and then had health issues and succumbed to that battle. And his team has done a great job of carrying it on. I don't think I have that team. You know what I'm saying? I don't think my wife is interested in it. My one daughter, Riley, is. If she's old enough, she would like take it over, probably whip it in shape and do better than ever. But aside from that, I don't think anyone has the interest to keep it going. So if that happened, I think that would be one end where it was just like it's the end for Garrett, so it's the end for Reach Out Reptiles. But beyond something crazy like one of those two situations, I can't see it. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going, Brian. Maybe I should figure it out.
Hmm.
I think my wife is definitely like looking for me to figure that out. Like, hey, so Clint just had his 5-year anniversary. We're coming up on our 10-year anniversary, and I have a whole bunch of stuff that is half built. We've done a lot. We've accomplished and built and done a lot of things, especially when you look at our breeding projects, what we've done for those, set out to produce, you were talking about 30 clutches. I wanted to produce 7 different localities of dwarf and super dwarf retics. And we hit that in 2024. Finally hit the 7th one, put the nail in the coffin of that one. We did the other 6 like 3 or 4 years ago, and this one's been evading us, but we got it now with the Tombalongans. But so we built a lot of stuff, but it just seems like we have so many more started projects to finish. So I don't know. I got to figure out, am I just building this thing forever? Or am I ever going to be, I don't see myself as the personality type to sit back and be satisfied, You knew Brian Barczyk. Whenever you talked to him, he always had some crazy new idea. And he accomplished a whole heck of a lot of them.
Yeah.
And he just kept going right to the end with all that stuff. I don't know if I'm that kind of person. I sort of hope not.
You definitely have the ability to kind of chill back a little bit more than he would, for sure. There's
Yeah.
a lot of times I'd offer, like, just come out sometime and just, you don't have to film or nothing. Just like take a couple days. He had a real hard time with that.
Yeah.
You at least, I know we can like sit back and lay on a couch and do a little podcast and chat, and then maybe go smoke a cigar and sit by the ocean and just enjoy that for what it is. So I'd say that it is possible for you.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Like I said, it was an open-ended question. I don't have the answer for it. So
Yeah, well, I mean,
it's interesting to ask every now and then.
Sure. Well, you're putting in plenty of work. There's no doubt about that. I think it's been paying dividends. I mean, from probably maybe you need a more outside perspective looking in. You're in the middle of it, and so I know there's a lot of work and there's a lot going on. But from an outside perspective, I like see the things that you're doing, and I see the different things that are happening from it. I'm like, dude, it's awesome. I like Retic Fest is a cool example of that, I think, and just like what you're building, and like it's pretty awesome. Like I look at it sometimes and I'm like, man, I don't have that type of drive.
I don't know that I do. I mean, I'm definitely driven, and there's so many cool things. Like Clint's crying, thinking about all his blessings and stuff getting there. And so, like, I've got Garrison with me traveling on a trip to go to my friend's 5-year Reptile anniversary. That's an awesome thing to be able to do with your kid, right?
Yeah, definitely.
On the other hand, I wouldn't see any of my kids this month if I weren't taking them on these trips.
Yeah.
And that's probably not a good thing.
Well, but at least you are, and you can.
Well, yeah, like I said, I can see how there's like the light and the dark side to it, to the way it's going, and it's I'm just trying to think ahead, make sure it doesn't slip into that dark side of things, where it becomes, it is a ton of work. It's a ton of work. And it's all consuming in terms of like energy, time, stuff like that, but not in my soul, my spirit. It's not consuming, right? But I think my wife has gotten pretty close to that point, and I just, I definitely want to make sure that I don't slip into that, or that I can, make me like protect her from going all the way down, with that or whatever. Where she's like, "Blah, we did too much. I'm done,"
Yeah.
So, yeah, like I said, just an open-ended question. I don't know where the end is, and I don't think it's really something that you like build up to and then go, there, I've arrived. Now I sit back, fold my hands, and never do anything again. Like I've peaked. I've climbed the mountain. I've gotten to the summit, and now I'm going downhill. Because you don't ever really want to do that.
Nah, use it or lose it, man.
Yeah, it's just a shift and a change in a dynamic, and different dynamic, and
Yeah, I'd love to still be like, get into like 70s and 80s and be pushing up weight on the bench press, dude. I'm all about that.
God, see, for me, the prospect of being 70 years old sounds exhausting. Remember our question about how much for your body parts? Just gonna start selling off the body parts at a certain point and make sure that we never get to that point.
Oh wow, we are very different people.
I can see where people are like, blessed with Bible talks about, long life being a blessing from God and stuff like that. But I'm like, sometimes a short life can be too.
I mean, sure, yeah, sure, absolutely. I think you just
Be
gotta be,
merciful.
yeah. Oh my
Take me
gosh.
now.
So just come on now.
I mean, like now, but like, maybe tomorrow or something. After I get Garrison home to his mom, then I'll be ready to go.
God's goodness gracious.
But before I take Riley to Orlando, or after I get back from Orlando, then I'll be ready to go.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
You don't know when your time is up. It could be any time.
That's true. So just shut up.
I'm
and
just keeping hope alive that it could be any time.
do your time and
I'm
don't
doing
talk.
the time. Doing the time.
Searchable as Reptile.